Father Bob Connor, with a doctorate in philosophy. He's taught philosophy and theology for over 42 years. He's currently chaplain at the Riverside Study Center of Opus Dei in New York City. He writes extensively on Catholic matters related to God and man at work. Mr. Sean Fieler is a managing member of Equinox Partners and the Kuroto Fund. He serves as chairman of the American Principles Project and the Pro-Life Commission of the Archdiocese of New York. A graduate of Williams College with a degree in political economy, Sean speaks and publishes regularly on the topic of monetary reform. He lives in Princeton, New Jersey with his wife and 3 children. We have Professor Robert Kennedy with us. He chairs the Department of Catholic Studies at the University of St. Thomas, holding a joint appointment in the College of Business. He received his doctorate in philosophy from the University of Notre Dame. His research focuses on professional ethics and Catholic social teaching. And finally, very relevant to today's political events is Mr. Bill Mumma, who has served as president of the Beckett Fund since 2011. He's a graduate of the Georgetown School of Foreign Service and Columbia Business School. He was most recently the CEO of Mistubishi Securities in the United States and has been happily married since 1983, the father of 6 children. The existence of a group like this Catholic Finance Association assumes that it's possible, even desirable, for Catholics to work in finance. If recent Manhattan subway graffiti is to be believed, it is the Jesuits who are responsible for all the actions of the Federal Reserve. But is there a Catholic approach to investing? We speak of the 7 capital vices, but are there 7 deadly sins of capital allocation? Is socially responsible investing just like buying organic, a sort of bohemian finance, a defense mechanism against the malaise of urban professionals, a totem to chase away the despair of knowledge workers permanently in orbit, always in the abstract? Our social and religious tastemakers have found common cause against tobacco and alcohol industries. How do we reconcile this with G.K. Chesterton's position that the Catholic Church is like a thick steak, a glass of red wine, and a good cigar? Our distinguished panelists offer their own considered thoughts, but first 2 possible strategies. First, the negative, the removal of morally objectionable securities from the universe of potential investments. Whether this is possible, how it can work in practice, is tonight's debate. The second approach, the positive or activist, the deliberate selection of investments based on their social impact. The risks, that the fiduciary responsibility is left unfulfilled. Charity, hiding behind the word investment. Again, we meet during this fortnight of freedom, joined by the president of the Beckett Fund, chairman of the American Principles Project. It's worth considering the relationship between the state and the Catholic investor. Recent actions by the federal government suggest that at least one premise is clear. The institutions we support must be tested, and constant vigilance is the price of a clear conscience. The role of a professional money manager is already difficult. An overwhelming majority of actively managed funds fail to beat their benchmark index in a given year. Investment judgment and moral judgment are very different skills. An investment professional spends years learning markets, understanding businesses and risk, separating signals from noise, trends from coincidence. It's no wonder that Catholic author Walker Percy wrote in The Moviegoer that businessmen are the last metaphysicians. But then how does a Catholic professional respond to the man at the bar in Whit Stillman's Metropolitan, encountering 2 young preppies wondering if they're doomed to failure? The man in pinstripes responds, "Doomed? That would be far easier. No, we simply fail without being doomed. I've got a good job that pays decently. It's just that it's all so mediocre, so unimpressive." The acid test is whether you take any pleasure in responding to the question, what do you do? I can't bear it. We should be reminded that Graham and Dodd only managed 770 pages on security analysis, but Aquinas left us an unfinished Summa with over 3,000. It seems only our Catholic politicians have difficulty evaluating the objective immorality of abortion, euthanasia. But there are a host of more nuanced moral threads to be combed by the Catholic investment professional. We're blessed with a few, 4, great guiding lights tonight. And to begin, we welcome Mr. Sean Fieler.